All right, hey, good afternoon, ladies. We are going to do another round of shout outs to represent the last couple showcase tournaments as a whole, and then kind of the overall team progress or progression that we've made. Pretty impressive, pretty proud. We've hit a lot of our bogeys that we've set out there, so that's been fun. Certainly fun to coach and be a part of. We are nearing, the end, if you will, of the season, or towards the end, with only a few events left. So, once we review what we're going to review today, I really want some of y'all to take stock of this stuff and, really finish strong. Put yourself where you want to be. There's a lot of things at stake. Stats aren't everything, but it certainly gives us, something to focus on. So I'm going to roll down through team stats on offense and defense, and then kind of within those team stats we'll highlight or shout out some names, if you will. I'm not necessarily going to do it this time by the 4 categories: attitude, effort, attendance rate, and execution rate. I think we kind of all clearly understand those now. That's served its purpose. So now we're kind of raising the analysis up a little bit. I'm going to analyze the team and then give a few shout outs within that. So the first thing I'll go over is offense. Currently, our team batting average is 272. That's not terrible, but it is certainly below what we want, or expectation, if you will. We've talked about really needing to be around 300 or 325 to be as competitive as we want to be, and we are right there. So again, I'm not upset about that at all. Just we need to understand and take notice of where that's at. And if you guys have access to Game Changer, go and look at those stats, because you can always tell when you need to step it up a little bit. Currently the team is at 272. That is back in line with where we were after the first tournament, 271. Then we played in the second one, bumped up the team batting average to 313, and now we're kind of back down to that original starting place of 272. So let's think about that going into this weekend. I'm certainly not asking y'all to put pressure on yourselves in a manner where we can't perform, but you need to put some pressure on yourself, in a capacity where you can handle it and do your job and execute. We need to be hitting around 300, 325, somewhere in there. We will recognize the top 1, 2, 3, 4. These girls are all above 285. We're going to start with the number 1 current batter, Miss Chloe Clark. She is at 500. That's really, really, really good. Winner's been up there before. Fry's been up there before. Winner is number 2 currently at 452. Great job there. Ellie is 3rd currently at 394. Good job there. And then Old Machine Gun Shay is 4th at 286. So those are the shout outs, if you will. The middle of the group is all right around 225. Okay, give or take. And then the lower end of the group is around 150. So, the tough love on all of this is, if you're in that lower group, you got to get your butt to the middle group ASAP. And if you're in the middle group, understand that, if you get to the top group, you get to do a little bit more of what you want, because you're producing, as long as you're okay or good on defense, and you're up in that top group in hitting, there's some benefits that go there. So think about that. In terms of hits, we have 3 girls that are in double digits. And again, I'm just going off Game Changer. So cue all the parent jokes there about strategic stats and all that. This is the time. But hits, okay, so we've got 3 girls in double digits. Winner is leading right now, currently at 14. Ooh, this is going to set up good for y'all in this tournament. Ellie is 2nd right now with 13. and CeeLo is third with 12. That's our top group, if you will, just in terms of hits registered. The middle group consists of Fry and Lacey, both tied at 8. And then the lower end of the group consists of girls that have 4 hits or less. So kind of an interesting stat there. So again, the top tier, you know, is 14, 13, 12. Middle tier is 8. And then lower tier is 4 or less. So same message there. If you're in the lower category, get your tail up to that middle category in this next tournament. If you're in that middle category, you know, go compete. Put somebody in your crosshair that's in that top 3 and go after them. The next one will be, this is just kind of an interesting one, but I looked at, and you know, if we don't have the stats right, again, my apologies there, but I went and looked at hit by pitch, and winner is taking the crown currently with 3, and then I'm showing Shay and Lacey both tied at 1. So appreciate you girls being tough there. Rest of y'all are weenies. Let me go over to defense now. Oh, and again, so to wrap up offense or batting, you know, that stuff's not terrible at all. I mean, we're a good team. I just really want you guys to understand, you know, how much one tournament can make. Some of you girls have been on a roller coaster up and down. Some of you girls have been on a steady progression. Some of you guys have been flatlined. Like, it's different for everybody, but I just want you to kind of hear about it kind of globally, if you will. So anyway, moving on to defensive side. We have fielding percentage. I pulled that stat collective right now. And I am going to give a shout out. Us, your work, will give a shout out to anyone over 850. That was where I drew the line. That was able to give us 5 girls as names. And fielding percentage is, you know, again, it's not everything, but it certainly does tell a lot. If your fielding percentage is low, it is going to be really, really, really hard to make that up if you are not taking consistent reps. I mean, again, we go back and listen to a prior message, but we talked about work and reps and all those things. So, you know, these girls that are on the top end of this list here, we'll go number 1 coming in at 920 is Ellie. That is really good. You know, I hesitate to use the word babe. I hate, you know, giving you praise, so to speak, in certain capacities. Makes me feel weird, but that's a really good stat to have, you know, and certainly this deep into the season. So from a coaching perspective, the consistency of seeing that number is nice for us. You know, the higher that percentage is, the less stress we have when we're moving girls around. So great job there. Way to lead the pack. And then right behind her is Emily Davis. She's at 889. Kid, you've had a rough go the last few weeks. You know, that sucks. We're all praying for you. Hope you get better there. The numbers look good, though, 889. Pitching had looked good, you know, up until you had to take some time off there. So good stuff. Next at 3 or third is Shay. Shay's coming in at 875. Great job there. You had a lot of moving parts, you know, at the beginning of the season. You filtered it all out, settled in, and now the fruits of your labor are starting to show. There's some consistency there. That's good stuff. Right behind Shay, number 4, is Ferguson at 868. Audrey, I appreciate your work ethic this year. You know, you've had some challenging things happen to you in somewhat of a, you know, surprise fashion, and you've handled that with grace, integrity, and grit, and more importantly, just a modeled work ethic. I know that I have said that a gazillion times, but that's really truly how I feel about your approach. Is that it's a model for work ethic. There's no back talk. It's just yes, sir. So 868, going through the ups and downs of your seasons is awesome. And then wrapping up the list at number 5 is Wintar Callahan at 857. Winter, your versatility this year has been noticeable as well. You've kind of pushed yourself into some new positions and places, or at least, you know, are really giving that a go. And it's showing, you know, 857 is a respectable number. So 2 claps for y'all up there. On the defensive side, I want to recognize the top 5 girls for the lowest amount of errors, okay? And this is just a quick recognition. You can dig into this, you know, and make arguments for a lot of different things, you know, and I'm not going to be, I'm not going to glaze over the fact, you know, we're going to speak to it here where I say, you know, this person has X amount of errors per or versus the number of chances she's had, you know. So sometimes, again, stats don't tell all the numbers, but it's still recognizable if you've got very low or minimal errors, right? So number 1 on the list is Liz Miller and Emma De La Fuente. You guys are tied, having only made 1 error. The total chances for Liz on Game Changer recorded is 3. Total chances for Emma is 1. So good job there, guys. And that kind of represents a group, you know, it's a group of statistical numbers based on the amount of chances you've got the ball. So this is just, I'm just trying to go through this so you guys kind of understand how to look at stats, maybe in a couple different layers. And then Ellie, Davis, and Shay are all tied for second, having committed only 2 errors. You know, and what's nice to see here is that Ellie's total chances were 25, Davis's total chances were 18, and Shay's total chances were 16. So great job there as well. There's some different lessons and things you can learn to work on if you kind of learn how to review stats in, you know, a couple different layers there. So that is the, I don't know, wrap up, if you will, on the team offensive and defensive shout outs. The next thing I'm going to do to keep this moving, I'm going to do 2 more things. One, I don't know if you guys remember, but a few weeks back I had posted every single person's name, you know, as a list in order, and kind of gave a quick shout out on what I'm seeing, and then a quick, you know, maybe a quick note on what I want you to focus on. So I'm going to hit that list again and then make an adjustment to those statements based on what we've seen. And then the last thing I'll do is I'm going to go down and give some parent shout outs and some overall program shout outs. So I think this was in the same order as it was posted on GroupMe, and if not, you know, just listen for your name kind of deal. But Ellie, you were first. You know, one of the things I was really noticing is that you needed to have better attention at the plate. You needed to have better pitch selection. I mean, we all know if you get a hold of it, you know, you're going to do some damage. But sometimes being a bull in a china closet, you know, is not always effective. This goes right along with, you know, me sending you a text message personally after a couple of the tournaments, and your batting average was only 222. And you got a screenshot, and I circled that number, and I said, this needs to be fixed ASAP. And I think you've done that, you know. So the better pitch selection has definitely yielded better hits. Now we just got to, you know, stop hitting pop flies. But anyway, overall, great job. Audrey, the quick note there was to kind of rid the rush, you know, rid the anxiety, rid the rush at the time to make plays, relax, the hits will come. I see noticeable improvement with a model work ethic again, you know, and there's zero complaining there. So I think you have done your job and worked on the things that have been recommended to you. So again, you know, that's leading by example. Really appreciate that. Winner. It was said for you to continue to push out of your comfort zone. Really try to garner and generate confidence in other positions, you know, based on your athleticism. And we feel like you've really done a good job of that. Sometimes that's weird, you know, if you're only pitching and going over to the corner, and all of a sudden start moving around, playing some infield and outfield, you know. Regardless of what anybody says, those things are intimidating. We think you've done a good job kind of digesting that, and as a byproduct, really seeing that there's other levels to your game. So versatility is going to be key. Great job. Emma Davis. Hey, kid, rough go these last few weeks, right? Certainly not, you know, coming down or any kind of pity party there, but just want to recognize it. Haven't seen you a lot. Know you've been struggling. Things were looking good. you know, up till when you couldn't go anymore. So just know that you got it. Okay, as you work your way back on the road from recovery, working your way back on the road to recovery, just know that it's not going to happen in a day. Okay, but you got it. You've proven to yourself. You've been there before. So patience with you is going to be key. You're a lot like my oldest boy, constantly blowing his body up. But you know, we're all praying for you. Stay positive. Fry, defensive athleticism has been on point. Love the passion. You've done good having patience with yourself. And I know that sounds weird, but I know you're a passionate athlete. I love the fire. I love the emotion, all of those things. As long as you let me, you know, continue to talk to you when you're doing those things and kind of help guide you through it, that passion is what it takes. So stay on it. Chloe, you are probably going to be really annoyed with this, and this may be the first time you've ever heard this, but you know, your message was, hey, less is more. I know it's super annoying, but it's unfortunately super accurate. The good news for you, Chloe, is, you know, all you've got to do is continue to become more mentally disciplined. You know, you have a superpower of athleticism that a lot of girls would want to have. And my point is, I know you don't take those things for granted. I see you put in the work, hear about it, all those things. But my point is, you know, you have a limited battle in the sense that you just need to tighten up mentally. And when you do those things, you'll experience even, you know, a higher degree of success because you're not actually going to have to be working as hard. I know it sounds weird, but just trust the message. Oh, and your bat. Holy cow, bats come around. Great job there, chick. I know that can be frustrating. Anybody who's been, you know, up and down or in and out throughout the course of the season, it's very, very frustrating to stay committed. But you've done it. You're coming back around. You're on the stats board. So great job. Let's see more of it this weekend. Lacey, you have continued to lead by effort and grit. You keep finding additional elements to your hitting style, and you're going to be unstoppable. You're too fast and too smart to not be on the bases. So I think you've done a great job athletically. I think you've done a great job, you know, in the plate. But I would continue to echo in your ear that we've got to focus on being more athletic sometimes than power. And as long as you keep that in the crosshairs, you know, I think we're going to continue to figure this thing out. I'm certainly excited for this weekend. Lends itself well to you. So let's light it up. Miss Holland, you continue to have a great attitude. You know, I really want you to finish this season strong with authority. And, you know, you have what it takes inside of you to do that. I'm ready for you to want to do that and have fun doing it, right? Not one or the other or X, Y, or Z. I know you've, you know, been out across the pond, on vacation, all this other stuff. But look, I'm your coach, and my job is to get the best out of you. And I feel like you have a little bit more in the tank to show me, us, everybody. And I think this weekend gives you a good chance to prove that, okay? So come with your hat backwards, ready to get after it. Maddie, great overall progression. Stay committed and become a student of the game. You will reap the benefits. And what I mean by that is, you know, everybody in life has challenges, okay? Everybody's got something they're dealing with. Everybody's got a situation. Everybody's got a reason, all these things. And the only reason I bring that up is I truly believe that for you, the more amount of work you put into your softball dream, the better the result's going to be. And that may require a sacrifice or a change of, you know, behavior patterns or thought processes and beliefs per se. But I'm just telling you, I'm giving you a really, really good vote of confidence. I think all of us coaches unanimously agree here. If you continue to put your nose down and become a student of the game, you know, that college dream is going to become a reality. So stay focused, hear these messages, and keep putting in the work. Shay, great job overall. Now that you finally locked into your true personality, okay? Now that we've done that, I need more of it, because now what I'm getting is limited versions of your personality, right? I'm like the most annoying psychologist and head coach you're ever going to be around. Let your hair completely down. Let me tailor the attitudes and the whatever else. I love the the banter you and Ellie have created at practice. Her and I get a kick about talking about your grunts and groans on your throws on the way home. So those are all good things. I and the girls need to see more of that, okay? More of that. That shows vulnerability, authenticity, aggression, passion, all of that stuff. So make sure this weekend you take it a notch farther, okay? I'm expecting great things there. Kylie, your continued effort and hustle is being noticed overwhelmingly by the coaches. And, you know, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here, but I just want you to stay motivated, girl. It doesn't come overnight, okay? And you don't have a lot of nights that you got to keep working, but I'm telling you, just keep working. It's going to come. The progressions are noticeable. You have some fundamentals and some basic instincts inside you that are not coachable. Your hands are fast as lightning. You know, we put a couple things together in the box for you, and you continue to get your reps under duress, under stress, in game situations, and keep performing, and your confidence goes up, you're going to be a totally different player. So proud of the way you've had patience with yourself. I hear and see and know that you've been putting in a lot of work, and those efforts are being noticed. So great job. Miranda, incredible progress overall. Certainly acclimating and settling in with our team. As for Shay, you know, I think one of the coolest things about the last few weeks is that unanimously all of us coaches voted you the tournament, you know, pitching MVP. Came in, pitched the entire game. Numbers and stats were great. Were dominated. You didn't know you were going to be called on to do that, but you did it. We just told ourselves, let's leave her in until she falls off, and you never did. So those things are good. Actually, they're great. Very noticeable for us, and gives us a chance, you know, deeper on Sundays when we've got 3 or 4 of y'all that can spin it. Your bat, listen, it's absolutely amazing / scary, okay? Let it be scary. Don't take your own bat out of your hand. You got to be good at 85, and that thing is annihilated. So come this weekend, ready to go, dialed in, do your job at the plate. Looking forward to it. Brooklyn, very noticeable progression as of late. You have been the subject of a lot of our coaches' conversations, but in a good way, okay? You have also showed a lot of resilience this season. You have put yourself, you know, in front of a lot of different challenges, and I've never seen you back down one time. So I've spoke to you and your family a lot about intensity, and I'm really starting to see that come out of you now. That is what becomes noticeable. So whatever it feels like or looks like to you, keep giving us more, okay? We really appreciate that. Liz, haven't seen a lot of you, honestly, Liz, in the last few weeks, so no big deal there. I know you've been battling and fighting a lot of things as well. So, you know, the message is pretty much the same as it was the last time. Really want you to understand, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to be comfortable and experience, you know, the work and the work ethic that's right for you. So, no worries there. Looking forward to this weekend. And certainly, sorry, had a bug fly in my throat there. Certainly want you to stay motivated and keep working. Life is about work. Never gets any easier, unfortunately. Emma De La Fuente, similar message there. I know you've been out, been sick last few weeks. Haven't seen a lot of you in the tournaments per se. Have seen you at practice there. So similar message. You know, there's a lot that we're noticing, and I think if you can continue to stay, you know, committed at the rate you're at right now, you're going to be happy with the results. So this weekend, again, lends itself to setting up for that. Super excited. All right, so that wraps up the player shout outs and individual adjustments. And then the last thing, I just wanted to go down and read. We're almost done here. Appreciate your guys' time. Ooh, we're almost at 25 minutes. Nice. These tournaments have been rough, okay? They've been hard. You know, you girls got used to a lot of things that you know, you didn't know you were going to get used to. And just real quick, I want to tell you again, we talked about this last night at practice, but listen, the mindset behind showcases is this and only this. It's for college exposure. And you may say, well, I don't like that. Well, I understand that. But sometimes we have to change our mentality based on where we want to go. And there's an overwhelming majority of you girls that raise your hands when we ask who has college interest. So those showcase tournaments are to provide that college exposure. Regardless of if you talk to a recruiter or not, you're being exposed. So we've got a coaching duty to do that. It's kind of killing two birds with one stone, getting your name out there. All you crybabies will get over the fact that it's not about wins and losses, and we're going to see some incredibly good teams. Well, just kidding. But anyway, I did want to make that notate, or I did want to notate that showcases are strictly for college exposure, and that's it. So whether that's you doing your best and hitting bombs, or whether it's us as coaches just putting a team out there in front of an audience that we know is going to have a high degree of coaches. Next, I want to thank Miss Lori Fry for covering us when my wife, my hands are up in the air right now, quote unquote, forgot her wallet a couple times. If I would have known we could have done that, we would have been doing that a lot sooner. So thank you there, Lori. Brooklyn, wanted to give you and your dad a shout out. I wasn't made aware of it until when you guys were almost done, you know, and certainly don't want to embarrass you. That's not the point. But selflessness, you know, attitude, effort, camaraderie, all those types of things. I really want to recognize that, you know, you giving out tokens or coins for girls to get reps at DBAT. Look, I'm a grown adult. Okay. I know that the money's got to come from somewhere. So certainly don't need to name drop anything, but just by, you know, principle alone, really appreciate you giving out tokens that were more than likely bought or earned as a result of spending money and giving those out to girls for reps. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. So thank you there. Maddie, would like to thank your parents and your mom's boyfriend for bringing that fan. Again, don't want to embarrass anybody by any of these shout outs, but you know, when your crowd and your families and your fans really start to think about like you guys as girls, you know, it means we're in a good spot. So anybody who's bringing a big ass fan to our tournaments is getting a shout out. So appreciate that. Also want to give shout outs to the collective group of moms who forcefully attacked all of us coaches one night at the hotel during a secured and highly impenetrable meeting to come in and mandate girl bonding time. I'm just kidding. They didn't do it in that fashion. But I do want to commend the group of moms that came and brought that to our attention and allowed us to have a discussion with you through that. The ultimate result was what we needed, what y'all wanted. Look, we give credit where credit's due. I am not big on those types of things per se. So I really want to say thanks for having you guys involved and thinking about the program from different angles like that. It takes a village. So thank you guys there. And then Mr. Chris Clark, want to obviously throw a shout out to you for the fire DJ skills that you bring to the table. Short of having a mix board and a headset, I mean, I feel it every time. So keep up the good work, bro. Appreciate that. Kazni, appreciate the trainer element that we get out of you. You know, honestly, if we're being if we're being honest, there's always an element of liability that goes through everybody's mind. I'm you know, probably one that will take care of more before, but I, as a coach, really like having someone who got some thorough knowledge of that stuff, isn't afraid to jump in and help us weenies out, and you've done that a few times, so thank you there. And then in closing, I want to thank Miss Kimberly Ferguson. She was my personal pharmacy for one of the last tournaments. If you don't know, you know, I've got some back issues. I'm fused at multiple levels, so every once in a while I go through these episodes, if you will. And she came through in a pinch, got me through. So appreciate that. Anyway, sorry to bore y'all. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Let's come focused, come excited, and let's get some wins, baby. Ultimately, if we ever wanted to play for a ring, this would be the weekend to do it. So let's go get one. Love you guys. Bye.